Hello and welcome to the Intel Brief. Today is Wednesday, the 8th of April. I'm your host Daniel, and today we're going to talk about Trump has suspended US attacks on Iran for 2 weeks, subject to the Strait of Hormuz opening. Israel says this current ceasefire doesn't include Lebanon, and the UAE and Bahrain have reported missile alerts after the US-Iran ceasefire. So firstly, US President Donald Trump has agreed to suspend attacks on Iran for 2 weeks, subject to Tehran reopening the Strait of Hormuz. The announcement came less than 2 hours before the deadline he set that he claimed would have been the death of a whole civilization. In a message on social media, Trump wrote that the following conversations with Pakistani Prime Minister, he agreed to suspend the bombing and attacks on Iran for a period of 2 weeks. He said that this was subject to the Islamic Republic opening the Strait of Hormuz completely. He added that Iran had submitted a 10-point proposal that he believes is a workable basis for negotiations. He claimed that the agreement had already been reached on almost all the various points of past contention, but didn't elaborate. So what? This feels like a very average deal for the US. Looking at what they wanted when they started this campaign and looking at the 10-point plan that Iran proposed, it's definitely not the same. It definitely has signs that the US were looking for an off-ramp and that they want to de-escalate the situation very quickly. It's reported as part of the deal that Iran can charge a toll on the Strait of Hormuz, which is likely to anger the Gulf nations and basically everyone else. If that's the main outcome of this conflict, then it's a significantly detrimental move. But it is possible that this peace deal will hold long term. There was no real sign that the regime was going to fall, and it seemed like they could hold out for a considerably longer period of time that the US were really comfortable with going into war with them. And next, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on Wednesday that Israel supports the ceasefire with Iran that was announced overnight, but added that it does not include Lebanon, contrary to previous reporting. Netanyahu's office said that President Donald Trump's decision to suspend strikes against Iran for 2 weeks, subject to the immediate reopening of the Strait of Hormuz and the halt of Iranian attacks on Israel, but it said the deal doesn't cover Israeli operations against the Iranian-backed Hezbollah militant group in Lebanon. So what? It's likely Iran will not like this statement even if they agree to it, and it's possible that Israel will work with Lebanon to crush Hezbollah. Lebanon have made it clear that they do not want Hezbollah in their country anymore and that they want the group removed. Regardless, it doesn't seem like Israel is going anywhere, especially taking a backwards step in Lebanon, which is likely to upset the international community. And lastly, regardless to all reporting up to this point, missile alerts sounded in the UAE early on Wednesday, about an hour after the United States, Israel, and Iran announced an agreement on the 2-week ceasefire. The UAE said that air defense systems were engaging with missile and drone threats from Iran. In Bahrain, missile alerts were also heard hours after the ceasefire agreement had been announced. Earlier, Israel had also said it detected incoming barrages of Iranian missiles. The New York Times quoted an unnamed US official saying that America's offensive military strikes against Iran had stopped in accordance with the agreement. So what? It's likely just a sign of the lack of command and control that Iran has over its forces, and it's unlikely to ruin the ceasefire unless it's clearly a coordinated attack across multiple regions that was ordered from Iranian Central Command. And it's also a clear sign that the US wants this ceasefire to hold because they could essentially use this to destroy it and conduct their attacks as soon as they want. But, they clearly want the ceasefire, regardless of how average it currently looks. So yeah, that's my breakdown of the current Iranian peace deal. We'll have to see what happens in the future. I'm a bit skeptical. We'll have to see. It doesn't seem like a great deal. It doesn't seem like the great victory that Trump is going to claim it is. So we'll have to see. Anyway, that's been your Intel Brief. I've been your host, Daniel, and I'll see you again tomorrow. See you!